Looking at the table, I think it's pretty clear we are not going to get relegated this season. In fact, if things go our way, we could potentially even sneak into Europe, but that's going to happen much later into the season. Right now, we have the January transfer window, we've got a little bit of money, and we want to strengthen in 2 or 3 positions. So, let's see if we can continue to fix the Royal Blues in the January transfer market. Welcome to January in Germany, and it's finally time to improve our squad again, to build a bit more depth and hopefully get rid of some of those guys that are still hanging on from when we were a 2nd division club. I think really looking at our squad, we need an attacking midfielder, probably a centre midfielder, and possibly a striker. So let's head to the transfer market and see what we can find. Well, looking through the clubs that might have a spare attacking midfielder, I did come across Crystal Palace. They've got Szob, Eze, Matthias Franka and Kamada, so we did look into buying the Japanese international. Sadly though, he was just too expensive. While we were browsing through the Premier League, we also had a look how our hero from last year, Moerstedt, was getting on. Turns out he's in the Chelsea reserves and actually going down in ratings. That's really sad for him. We spent so much time looking for this attacking midfielder, and in the 2nd division of Germany, I think we found our first true bargain. Dani De Wit has really odd stats. He's got really good physicals, but he's quite slow. He's really good at defending, but plays as an attacking midfielder. With one position change, I think we might have found the new perfect holding midfielder for our side. He comes in with a match ban, so he's obviously been a naughty boy at his last club, but we just take 2 weeks to retrain him to a centre mid, and by then, his ban will be over and he can come in to anchor our midfield. The best thing about him is that he was so cheap that it means we can now go all out on a new attacking midfielder. To be honest, the player I really wanted to anchor our midfield was actually Leon Goretzka. I'd already scouted him, I found out his wages and contract terms, but then I realised how much Schalke fans hate him. Let me know what you think I should do in the comments with him. Comment yes Leon if you want me to sign him, or no Leon if you think we should avoid. We'll decide what to do with him in the summer when his contract ends at Bayern Munich. But back to January, and we need an attacking midfielder. We had a few options here. We could go in for Kamada, we could raid the Austrian league for Seidel, but the guy I liked the most was Dominik Fitz. He's probably not going to improve any more than this, but he is so good for the price. I'm not a huge fan of doing swap deals for realism, but Tobias Christensen going to Austria Vienna to replace someone that we've then given them £5.5 million for did seem like it was a fair deal. It's actually quite nice to go into a match knowing we have a Bundesliga class attacker. The first time we could say that for a long time as Schalke manager. Kicking off then, and we are actually quite nervous because Frankfurt are a really good team this season. Larsson, can he hit it across the goalkeeper? He can't. Good save from Leno, but it was basically straight at him. Can we press them high? Sambi Lakanga from midfield. We can. Let's hit this from outside the box. Forced a good save and a dangerous corner maybe. Puchaz and Becker missed it, I think, and they're going to get that one clear. Uzun into Matanovic, gets inside, and that's more like what you'd expect from those regions. Too many of them go in the top corner. I think we actually have less spending power than Club Brugge somehow. Good turn, good pass from Fitz, and can Bothheim get into the box? He can. Can we shoot across the goalkeeper? He was getting pressured way too much by the centre-back. Frankfurt on the attack, trying to get it out wide, but that is a 0-0 first half. A rarity to not see a single goal, but Matanovic is having an absolute stinker by the looks of it. We win the header, but it goes to Aronson in midfield. He flicks it up. Sambi can't get there. Chaibi from outside the box. Acrobatic camera save there from Leno, to be fair. Fits on the ball. We were expecting a little bit more from him, but he has been really good when he gets on the ball. Can we do a trademark Kaputska long shot? No, blocked this time, but we're going to recycle it with Akpaguma. Sambi back to Kaputska. Can we get the shot away this time? No, Aronson gets a foot in instead. Here's the American running forwards, and I think that's it. He's turned around. That's going to be a 0-0. One of the first 0-0s of the season, and not probably what you would expect when we've just signed a brand new star attacker. So yeah, January's not been too good for us so far. We got 2 points, including a game against second bottom Paderborn. But De Wit is back in, Fitz is now finally match sharp, and our next game is against Holstein Kiel. They got promoted with us. Currently, they've drawn 3 out of 18 games and lost the other 15. So if there's ever a match that we expect to win in the Bundesliga, it is probably this match right here. Kicking off, and we need to make sure we don't get complacent, to be fair. Fitz on the ball, gets it out to Puchaz, gets away from his marker. This is so much easier than Frankfurt. Pulls it back, De Wit into Yaziki. Oh, he's miles off target with that. Becker against his former club. Fitz, can we turn? Get it to Botheim. We can. Surely we are going to bag here. Or Toledo with a good save, or more of a bad finish, I guess. Botheim using his pace to get away from the Kiel defenders. We can pull it across to Fitz, and somehow he gets his foot there. A really nice finish. Not really what we were expecting when we pulled it across. It was a lot closer than it should have been, but 1-0, we will take that. Zek has the ball forward to Kalati. That's Fiti up from outside the box. What a goal! Maybe we underestimated Kiel a little bit. Yaziki, he's got no man in front of him. Let's just keep running. And then hit it across the goalie. We've hit the post, but Fitz is there. And that's his second goal of his career for Schalke. And also second goal of the game. Could he match Karaman from earlier in the season and bag a hat-trick? Well, if there's ever a game he's going to do it, it's probably this one. What the hell was that? I think when we clear this, it's going to be half-time. 2-1 lead. We will take that. Botheim wins the header. Yaziki controls it. And yes, half-time. Sambi Lakanga winning the ball high. Changing the tactics with him was such a good decision. And then Fitz is going to smash one. This guy just cannot miss. That's his hat-trick. All three of the goals, pretty decent finishes to be fair. This one from just outside of the box. Using the Bundesliga camera right there. Goalkeeper didn't really use his hands to be fair. Botheim to De Wit. Can we get a first goal with him? He can finish to say he's playing centre mid. Puchaz cut inside, gets it to Sambi Lakanga somehow. Again, some room for Fitz. Nearly a fourth goal of the game. We're going to sub him off, keep him fresh. You know what we're like with injuries recently. We don't want him to get injured. Looks like Kiel are going to take the 3-1 loss. Fair enough, they are used to losing. They know how to manage the games. And yeah, they're just going to pass it around the back to the end. And there we have it. Another win. Another step closer to potentially getting into Europe. The season just gets more interesting. So it's our fourth deadline day as Schalke manager. I'm not expecting any bids big enough to have to accept, and we really don't want to sign anyone either. So hopefully it's just a quiet day. We're going to keep advancing time, maybe checking out the biggest transfers of the month and see what happens. And that's exactly what we did until just 3 hours were left on the clock. We received a 6.1 million bid from Velez for Sanchez, and that just has to be accepted. That leaves us, after he leaves, with just 1 hour to replace him. First of all, we tried to loan to buy Jamie Lawrence, a German player who plays in Switzerland, but they wouldn't let us attach a permanent fee. I looked at so many centre-backs in that hour. The one I liked the most was actually Lee Han Boam. His stats are worse than Lawrence, but his playstyles are perfect for a centre-back at this level. Again, we tried to negotiate, but they just would not agree. This was turning into a deadline day nightmare. After spending so much time looking for a new centre-back, I didn't have much choice really. I had to try and get Kolasinac back. We agreed an affordable transfer fee and things were looking quite good, but yet again, we just could not agree on a wage. We have 5 centre-backs technically in our squad, so I guess we could survive without signing one, but one injury and we're pretty screwed. Our last resort with the last few seconds of deadline day was to promote Frenzner from our academy, a player that's really not ready, but does have an absolute huge amount of potential. With one last check of the transfer list, we decided to give up. We're just going to have to stick with how things are now for the next 6 months. With that, we decided to finish deadline day, and even though we've just sold one backup defender for £6 million, I feel like our squad somehow has got a lot weaker. To be fair, we only had to wait a couple of days to find out if it really had when we were playing against FC Cologne on the 6th of February. Cologne coming down the left wing, Bullet steps in, okay, maybe he could step up. He's low rated, but he has got really good stats. Fitz with the incisive pass attempt and, oh, he nearly closed down the goalkeeper there. We've lost the header. That's the flaw of having Bullet in there, and Sambi Lakanga misses the interception. Then the defensive awareness isn't there. That shows how fast everything can change. We were in control of this game, and 2 touches, 2 mistakes later, we're now behind. Fitz with a good pass into Botheim. We nearly played him in, but the ball was just stolen off our toe. Fitz on the ball, dances around 2, dances around 3, and he's got the strength to hold off the defender. They dive in, they miss it. And there we go, a 4th goal of the season for Fitz. You can safely say that I don't think Christensen would have been able to do something like that. The pace to get away from his man, the strength to hold him off, and the finish. Complete package from Fitz. Cardona, Lubcic, and that referee draws a close to a pretty boring first half, to be fair. Other than the goal, not too much going on. Martel, the man that got sent off in the previous match, loses it to Puchaz into Botheim. Let's finesse this far post. That is all because of Puchaz winning the ball and then playing the great pass through to our striker. He celebrates, but really, that was all about the defence. What a tackle from Becker, and it's fallen very luckily to Botheim. Can we do the same again? Through on goal. That is proof that sometimes defence can be the best form of attack. What a tackle from Becker, and an even better finish. Surely we are not going to do it again. Yaziki is 3-on-1. We have Fitz, we have Botheim. We're going to hit this. I think really we probably should have played it across one more, and Fitz nearly gets to the rebound anyway. Finally an attack for Cologne. Finally a good save from Leno, but we dived in with Lindelof. That's fair enough. It's been a while since we gave away a penalty. We're diving left, and he goes right. The last few minutes of this match just got a lot more tense. Yaziki, can we turn our man? There's a lot of space. Might as well just hit it. And what a decision that was. Yaziki with his first goal for the club, and one to remember. So the referee blows their whistle, and that is it. Another win for the boys. What a performance. So after that game, I actually think we're in with a decent possibility of finishing in the top 7. The top 6 are all guaranteed Europe in the Bundesliga, and I think Dortmund are probably too far ahead to catch in 6th place. So we just have to hope that one of those top 6 can win the cup. That means that 7th place becomes the Conference League. Frankfurt winning the cup would be ideal, but if they fall, then that's the only time we'll ever be cheering for Leverkusen, Dortmund or Bayern to win something. Sadly though, of course I can't show you every match of the season, and we would actually go on to lose 1-0 to Freiburg. But the next game was yet another derby match against Borussia Dortmund. We still haven't actually beaten them, and this is our 4th attempt, our 2nd one at home, and I think probably the best chance we've had to actually get one over on our big rivals. Schlotterbeck and Dortmund playing some good possession. Marmouche must be a summer signing, has got away, and it's a good tip from Leno. We win the header, but it's gone to Campbell. Is that going in? And no, it's just missing to the right. Puchaz, has he got the pace to get away from his man? He has a bit of trickery. We get the cross in, and Anton has to head it behind for a corner. Marmouche, Adeyemi, there is so much pace, and that is not what we want. But Bullet has some pace of his own. He gets marking, but Adeyemi gets away from him and rifles it home. We could have probably defended a little bit better there. De Wit into Fitz. Can he get away from his man? He can. And we nearly put it through his legs. And we get a rebound. And it goes just wide. We really could be level. You can see the disappointment on Fitz's face. Ball goes out to Adeyemi. Is he going to do the same again? No, it's a poor touch. And the referee calls it for half time. Can we build up the play a little bit with Leno from the back? Well, we give it to Lindelof. Into midfield to De Wit. Got a couple of men out wide. Let's try and get it out to Becker. And we have been nailed off the ball. And Kukureya's probably fouled us. No. De Wit has been injured. Not what we wanted. Hopefully that isn't long term. Kukureya. Fitz has won it off him. And now we can counter-attack. Berg gets the pass right. But we got the run time just wrong. Okay, let's have another chance. We see Puchaz out on the left. Surely we're not offside this time. We were about to pull that across. That was so close. I think Botheim was onside too. Bullet running against Kukureya. Gets away from him. Oh, but we can't drive into the box. We've got Fitz here. We've got a good pass into Yaziki. And he's missed. Oh my god. This guy. He needs to do some finishing lessons. He is so frustrating. And Kobal is going to time waste. Bullet's going to win the header. Can we have one last attack? The referee's not going to let us. She blows her whistle, and we've lost yet again to Borussia Dortmund. They're just too good. So that is also the last match we're going to play in this episode. We have another game against FC Union Berlin that I'll tell you about the result of in the next episode. But we actually only have 2 more episodes left of this season. So if you want to see if we really can sneak into Europe, now is the time to press the subscribe button if you haven't already done it. It would be really helpful if you could start suggesting some players that I sign in the summer transfer window as well below. But thank you for watching. Really appreciate the support on this series. I'll see you soon this weekend for 2 more episodes. See ya and goodbye.